Hello, welcome back everyone. This is video 2 in our Yoga Beginners Foundation series. And the last video we went over our use of blocks and props and different kinds of modifications that you can do. And this video we're going to go over a breakdown of a basic sun salutation and that crazy word vinyasa that you keep hearing in your class. So let's begin. We're going to start standing because this is a breakdown of Sun Salutation A. In Sun Salutation A, you actually are starting in a standing position. So hands down by your sides. And take a deep breath, gaze forward. And then as you inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up overhead and exhale, fold forward. Now in sun salutations, typically you are doing one breath to movement. So as you fold forward, you can bend your knees as much as you need to protect your hamstrings, let your head fall, and then inhale, half lift. Half lift, straight back, look forward. Hands could be on shins if they need to be. And then place your hands down and you're going to step back into your plank pose. If you watched video number 1, you'll know a modification for plank is to drop your knees down. From plank, this is where our chaturanga comes in. So chaturanga, very important. Spread your fingers wide. Gaze forward, press into your hands and start to bend your elbows. Squeeze your elbows in toward your ribs. Slowly lower your body down. Place the tops of your feet on the mat. Inhale, either curl up to a cobra pose or press into your hands, press into the tops of your feet. Engage your legs a lot. In your arms. Slight back bend, upward facing dog. Slowly lower down, exhale. Curl your toes under, and then you're going to press into your hands and your feet evenly. The goal is to press up back through a plank and then into downward facing dog. That's a lot to ask for, so do the best you can. Squeeze your elbows in. Get the foundation with your hands and your feet. Now press up. Shift your hips back. Downward facing dog. Now a big question with downward facing dog. How long should my stance be? It should be as long as a plank pose. If your heels are up like this and your knees are bent, that's a-okay. So spread your fingers wide. Press into your hands a lot. Engage your belly in and up. And then you would take about 3 cycles of breath here, 3 to 5. And then look forward between your hands. Step back through for your forward fold. Half lift. And then fold. And then inhale all the way back up to a standing position. That is a basic Sun Salutation A. Now, a lot of times in our classes, we don't call it Sun Sal A. You may not even hear it called, but we do it as a transition. We do it as a warm-up, and we may add on to it as teachers, depending on what our aim is for the sequence that day. So I'm going to go through it again quickly this time, one breath to movement, just to show you what it would normally look like. And that's a basic Sun Sal A. I hit my shelf over here. I'm a little bit close, so, but I'm trying to make sure you guys can see everything. Okay, so now when we talk about a vinyasa is part of a sun salutation. So if you hear me or any other teacher say, you can take a vinyasa if you like. A vinyasa is the chaturanga to down dog part of it. So a vinyasa is this part. As you can imagine, doing a lot of vinyasas is a lot of work on your shoulders. Your shoulders are taking the brunt of the impact here. So chaturangas can cause shoulder injury and aren't always recommended in many yoga classes if you're not warmed up or if you don't have the right alignment. That's why dropping your knees, doing this situation is a lot safer for your hands. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to look at a Sun Salutation A again, and I'm just going to break down a few of the common alignment cues that you might hear and what they mean. So we're going to start from standing again. All right. So spread your toes, lift and spread your toes. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? The reason for that is we want a wide base. You want to be able to feel your balance on the four corners of your feet. Press into your feet. Inhale as you stretch up, stretching up through your body as you're pressing down through your feet. Pull your belly in and up. Engage your core. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to keep your torso to your thighs. This is safe. Right here. If you are not warmed up or you have really tight hamstrings because you're a runner or a weightlifter or you bike a lot, you don't want to injure your hamstrings. You don't want something to be pulled or to pop. So instead of forcing your body to do this situation, bend your knees, get your torso connected to your thighs, keep that connection. And then maybe as you warm up through the practice, you can start to straighten your legs out a little bit more. But initially, the first 2 forward folds, I would say bend your knees every time. Then halfway lift again. If this is a lot for you and you're straining your neck up, come up here. Even come up here if you need to, wherever you are at today. Plant your hands, step back into your plank pose. Okay, once again, lift and spread your fingers, shoulders over wrists, heels over the balls of your feet, flat back, gaze forward, belly in and up. If this is a lot right here, drop your knees. Slowly lower your feet by squeezing your elbows in towards your legs and lowering. Place the tops of your feet down and come up into whatever cobra or up dog you're feeling today. So our little cobra, press into your hands, squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. What do I mean by that? Let's look at it. I'm actually going to get closer so you can see this. So check out my shoulder blades. When I say squeeze your shoulder blades, I don't mean this. I mean, do the best that you can. But when I say squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze your shoulder blades. You see how they moved? So we have this, and then we have squeezing, activating our shoulder blades. These are called your little rhomboids, and they pull your shoulder blades together. They're little muscles. So activate that. Keep it activated as you do this entire chaturanga. That is going to give a lot of support to your shoulder girdle and keep your rotator cuff from getting the most of the work, because this is a passive joint. It's not supposed to be taking all of the action and doing all of the work. Your muscles around it are. Okay, so we got where were we at? We're at chaturanga. Okay, and then press back into your downward facing dog. Again, if you need a break, come in tabletop. If you need even more of a break, come into child's pose and rest. Nothing wrong with any of that. I've done it before. So we're going to come back into our downward facing dog. Arms are a little more than shoulder width apart. Fingers are spread. Press into your hands. Lift your chest toward your thighs. Bend your knees, heels toward the mat. Remember, we talked about that action of not looking a certain way, but feeling the action in your body, that it's like getting there. You want that. You want to feel your heels toward the mat. That doesn't mean they have to be touching the mat. That just means that you can feel your body trying to get there. Then gaze forward between your hands. Step forward, however many steps that you need to. Halfway lift again. Forward fold. And then, bend your knees, forward fold, and then come all the way back up to standing. Either hands at heart center, hands by your side. That part doesn't really matter. Something else that doesn't necessarily matter as much is how your arms look. So my hands are going to look a little bit different because I actually have a disability in my wrists. So my palms don't go in together. That doesn't necessarily matter because it just depends on what your goal is. So typically you'll see people like palms in or palms facing out, whichever is fine. The biggest difference that I know of is when you're coming into a back bend and you're reaching back. So this action is actually going to have a different effect on your muscles here than this action. So you can actually feel that if you try it. This, you're going to get more of a stretch in the chest. And that would be one of the big differences. So that was your breakdown of Sun Sal A and a chaturanga vinyasa. If you have any questions, please let me know. And look out for video 3. Namaste.